Alright, so this is going to be the new Queen Street VOD for Varsity on 9/23. So we had not played on this map very often. We kind of had an idea of what the team was going to be playing against us, right? We sort of expected more of a Bastion. They came out here with Poke, I think, but or swap to Poke. We actually did pretty well here. I think we just freaked out with our positioning and our engagements and our ult usage. I'll go over that shortly because there's some angles that we took here that just were not able to happen. My support backline, I'm gonna need you to understand your value more about what happens when tanks swap, right? And what are you gonna what you have to really swap to in order to help out the rest of the team, right? So let's start this off, right? We come out here, we think they're not gonna have a hit scan. They come out with the soldier. Nene knows this, but we have a mercy pocket, so I trust Nene against this. We have a Bastion as well. They no longer have the Bastion, which means we have the spam advantage. Right, so this is actually very good for us as a team. See how they're splitting out the resources between Piercing here, Don Huevo, and Bowser, and then everything is so split for them. They can't just focus one target. All we're doing here is buying enough time for our next shift cooldown. This is essentially great. Nane's handling his own against the soldier as expected. He has a pocket, not a big deal. Piercing, you're pushing in. I had to come in here and tell you that your team was not with you. Just keep that in mind. I know you turn around. They are literally fighting for their lives to heal you. Right, but we want to clear that high ground first. So I'm just gonna speed this up. Don't worry. See how you're playing the same way you're playing now is the same way you were playing with your Risa. It's kind of interesting, right? Like you want to play it the opposite, if anything. Here, this I don't know. What were we doing here? We go on a flank, knowing we killed almost everybody, and then the only person that can actually kill you is the soldier, right? And you decided to take this weird flank out of LOS from your healers. For what reason? Why? Like, and this is where I mean, supports, you gotta, like, everyone around here, put a leash on all the tank and the DPS. Let them know where you are and be like, you cannot go over there. If you go over there, you will die. Just tell them how it is. Why are you going on a flank? My Bastion going on a flank like that? No, off angle. Off angle and flanks are two different things. So again, I think this is great for the team. We're able to push. We're able to collect people here. They pop ults. This is fine. Because we have two off angles, right? So think about the way we're playing right now, Don Huevo. See how there's an off angle by Nene created, which allows pressure to be left off of Piercing as much as previous maps, right? Not as much as previous maps. The same principle would have applied for you in Bastion if this was an Orisa situation. It's not. But that's what it makes it easier. They can't just focus Piercing down, right? Just like we're trying to focus their Zarya down, and then we can't because Nane's got to deal with them on the back end too, right? So we're essentially trying to mirror each other's positioning here, and that's exactly what everybody's doing. Great res by Shadows. The window there, Bowser, I think that was a healing window. If not, I would just thrown it in front, in the middle. It just keeps them away. The thing about windows, Bowser, you gotta understand is just the presence of a window is scary enough for people to back away, right? So if we're gonna do something like that, and this is what I mean, like we had this team on the back heel, on their heels, right? So like all we needed to do was finish off here, probably do one last team fight over there, and we win this. We essentially get reverse sweeped in a way on a push map. They swap to immediate counters for Nene because they know Nene is causing them problems. We can't overextend, we can't overextend. That was unlucky. We almost... Yeah. Just unfortunate. They gave us with the window grab again. So this is the thing, right? Ideally, what I want to do against a team comp like this is run Nene back on Genji, right? We run Ana, and then we run Kiriko. That's what we want to do. I understand we weren't able to do this, right? But this is the situation where I would just swap to that immediately, right? Because it's 2 hit scans, 1 mercy pocket, which means It's going to be really tough for Nana to engage. If we just send a Winston out there, it's also going to be tough. Don Huevo's going to get limited value because they're just going to be playing really far away, right? So the spam isn't going to work as much unless we're able to close the distance. I think we swapped to a full dive here. I think that'll work. It almost worked, but on the third or second to last team fight here on the defensive side, we took the weirdest angle ever to try to ult, and it just didn't work. But it's fine. We'll work on this. But that's the swap that I want, Bowser. So just keep that in mind, because in Shadows, you're going to go Kiriko, Nene can go Genji, and we go Ana. The reason why I want an Ana for once you swap over to a Winston is you're not healing a Winston as bad. So it's this angle right here, right? So Piercing dies, which to me, I don't understand how this happens. Right, let's see. Like, you see that Piercing's there. You're healing Piercing. You're healing Piercing. Why did we turn away? They're full health. And then Piercing, you know, I guess it's not his fault either, but they melted him. That Zarya must have been full charge. We're able to get the res off, right? Because we have Don Huevo here, which is great. We almost trade for the Zarya. It's an unfortunate situation. We don't ever play here, by the way. Don't ever freaking play here. Play here to contest, because you can contest from up here and make the bot not move. If that's not going to be the angle you're going to take this freaking angle. Do not take this alley. This alley is awful. Like, what are we going to get value out of this window here? So again, you can take this one right here, so you have upper sightlines, lower sightlines, or you loop all the way around. That's the only angles you should be taking on Quintree. Nene can take an off angle from here once you force the rotation to the right. Other than that, you don't do that. Yeah, Nene's having to take on 2 hit skins at once. It's unfortunate. Alright, so right here, if this is clearly not working, this is where we would have swapped to like a dive. Right? Again, they don't have a Bastion, and I don't care if they do swap to a Bastion after the fact. We don't want to have people play in roles that they're comfortable. Right? If you're really comfortable with Ryan and you're really good with Ryan, guess what? I don't want you playing on Ryan if you're on the enemy team. It makes it too easy. Same thing. If they're comfortable on a hit scan, let's move them off the hit scan. Yeah, so that's what I mean, Bowser. You'll never be able to heal Piercing as BAP. It's just not going to happen. It's too slow. And then we use Lamp early. We get rolled there. So those are the swaps that I ideally wanted to make. Unfortunately, we didn't make them. We didn't plan for them. But if that does happen and Bowser, you're in there, that means you swap to the Ana. Right, and whoever my other player support is, they would swap to the Kiriko. Nene, that means you go Genji, and we'll have Nano Blade for win condition, and we'll be able to engage as a team. We need the cleanses. The idea there is that they won't just be able to grab us, right? And even if they have a hit scan, I don't care. Hit scan against the dive of Genji and Winston and the Kiriko, we should be fine. This is fine. This is Piercing just killing off the squishies. The problem here is that whenever Piercing engages Bowser, you have no way to alien him. Not as a BAP. That's why I wanted the BAP earlier. Because we were running low on time, I think that's why we didn't want to swap. But back then, on that second to last team, the last team fight before, that's when we sort of swap. Piercing misses the jump. So right here, honestly, you could have just windowed the Zarya. Right, Bowser? Like, at the end of the day, like, there's not much other value they can get. We can't just window up here and hope to get that. But we can at least get the Zarya immediately. Especially after that second bubble's pulled. Or with Nene there. Yeah. I think we just do that earlier. We give him too much value. Nene just pops off though. I think we almost have this. They windowed us on our end. Don Huevo, you should have kited that the other way. The team peels back for this, which is fine. So they swap over, right? Look what they swap over to. They swapped over to a JQ with double hit scan. Immediately go back to a reset. That's why I just swapped to the dive. Force them off what they're comfortable with. They just had high angle on us there. We're not able to clear it because the only one who can go in there is piercing. If we had a piercing and then Nene on the Genji there, I think we clear that high ground first. Once we clear that high ground, especially with the KDTP, then we're able to clear the rest of the team. Again, these are unfortunately these are just adjustments we didn't have at the moment. And we don't play enough Queen Street too, so at least we know what we'll be doing next time on Queen Street, especially on push maps. Just swap. Honestly, I do like it is what it is. You swap to the counter immediately. Move on with your life, swap to the counter, win the next team fight, and especially once you have a lead like that, no way you lose that lead if you just play counter swap, especially on a map like this. So right here, I don't know what happened here. I know Nene gets picked off because of the Mercy pocket, and that I'm okay with, but there's no way this JQ lives. Like, and this is what I mean, we just freak out. Like, we freak out. And that is GG's. So Bowser, with your windows, you gotta have like a thought process about how you're gonna use these windows. You can't just use windows to use windows, right? Like the one that you used with the Zarya, that one was great. The one that used over here, this was not a good window. This was also like a funky window because we hadn't cleared high ground, right? To be fair with you, Nene is our best DPS, and I'll say this right now, he is our best DPS player, which means I want Nene to be able to maximize the value that he brings to the team. So coordinate with Nene or coordinate with the, you know, some of them there. Like Piercing isn't able to kill the JQ because of the brutality. Again, Piercing, you try to kill things. You're a tank player. I get it. It's frustrating. Hopefully Season 7 changes things when the nerfs come through. But for right now, supports own this game with DPS. That is what they do. They are there to save DPS, and then DPS are able to make plays with supports. Even supports are able to make more plays than tanks right now. Right, there's only so much you can do unless you're catching them off guard, or unless you have your ult ready to go. It's very limited times where you're gonna get an immediate kill on people nowadays. It's frustrating. I get it. It's just how it is. But Bowser, you can't just throw a window there and then not finish. Right, Nene was getting res. Just wait until the res comes through. Help Nene with killing the Sojourn up there, right? Help him up there, whoever, Don Huevo, right? You guys gotta help that, and then you can engage with the window. You rushed this. This was so rushed. It was like, you know, one person's here. Oh, well, no, what happened? Oh, all right, let me put a window here and let me make magic work. But there was no set plan about how this was gonna happen right here. Right? Again, we could have played high ground. Why didn't we just window up high ground? Because then Piercing can just contest from up here. Doesn't even have to drop. He could have just chilled here until Nene gets a pick with window. Right, so you guys have to be smart about this. You know, I say this, like, scrims are not ladder games, and I understand you guys don't play together, right, as a full squad. You know, maybe hopefully things that change, but I have constantly played with, you know, I'm 5-stacking with scrims or with friends, whatever the situation is, and you don't think that these are situations that the enemy team is thinking about? You know, where can I window? Who do I go after first this next fight? Who am I going to flank? Who are you flanking? Same thought process. You guys have to start communicating. You guys have to have a set of plan and in every engagement, right? And again, when they're counter swapping you, just counter swap back. It's really not that crazy. Trust me, you guys are able to build your ults, especially if you've already used your ults and you have a lead. Just play for the lead. Play to burn the clock. That's all you have to do. All right, so this ends the VOD review for this game, and I will see you all at the next one.